I'm Lisa Martin with Pampered Chef. Welcome to my channel. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and share and subscribe. Also, welcome to my kitchen. Today, I would like to show you how to make a keto breakfast sandwich in less than 5 minutes. So I'm going to try to start the timer and make sure that I can make the bread all the way down, and it's all going to be keto approved. Now, I want you to know ahead of time, I do use the word keto loosely, because I know that I'm not 100% keto. I think keto is when you eat organic foods as well, and I don't. So I'm actually probably more closer to low carb, but because people are more familiar with the keto term, that's why I'm using that. But I'm actually going to start the timer and make this in under 5 minutes, or at least try to. Let's see where we go. So this might look like a little bit of a mess to you because I have a lot going on in my counter here, but it's because I wanted you to see what I'm doing, because as I watch my videos, I see that sometimes you have to see my back, and I don't think that's helping you much. I want you to actually see more of what I'm doing, so that, because I know when I started, I was so overwhelmed, and I thought, where in the world do I go with this thing? So I needed recipes. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 90-second bread. And this is so forgiving. I like to add a little bit of sugar to mine because I like a little sugar in my, I like my bread to be a little sweet, but you can use cinnamon. You can also make it like an Italian bread and make an Italian sandwich. You can make a grilled cheese out of it. You can use it, you can cut it in half and use part of it for a pizza crust. I mean, it is so, there's so many ways you can use it. You just have to doctor it up according to your taste buds. So what we're going to do first, this sandwich maker is a must-have. You have got to get it or earn it. If you don't have the $30 for it, it's only $30, but you know what? You can also earn it. So I am so glad I got it. It comes with a ceramic lid, so don't drop it. And then it comes with 2 silicone compartments so that you can make your sandwich. But this is so much more than just a sandwich maker. I mean, I have done so much with this. And then you put your egg in the bottom. Now you can't use the sprays. What I do is I keep a thing of butter like this that I can bend back and use just only, this is what I use to, you know, use it to grease pans, and I don't use the sprays because they're not good for your cookware and they're not good for you either. So I always have this ready, and we don't ever use it. It's just for the greasing, the purpose of greasing the pan. So I'm going to grease that. We also need, let's see, we need 1.5 tablespoons of butter melted. Well, if you've been on keto for very long, you know how many times it's exploded inside of your microwave. But with this, I'm going to put it in here and put the lid on, and it will not explode. So I am so thankful for this at the side of the butter. It tells you what tablespoon, how many tablespoons. One line is, you know, I mean, it's so easy peasy. So I'm going to use my Pampered Chef knife that I've had for years, and they still have it, and I'm going to look for 1.5, just kind of eyeball it the best you can. Okay, put the rest of it aside and just take the paper off. Okay, because that's what we need first. And I'm going to put this in the microwave for like 20 seconds, but I'm going to make sure that I put my lid on it because I don't want it all over the inside of my microwave. Okay, actually, I put it on for 25 seconds. I'm going to start the clock because I forgot to. Okay, while that is doing that, I wanted to show you our silicone bowls. It comes in a set of 3. The large, the medium, and then the small one. In this one, I break my eggs. And they have lids too, so they can be prep bowls too. I love them. Okay, so that's done. So I'm going to go over here, but first I'm going to crack my egg. Another thing I learned on keto is whenever I would get my butter out, well, then I'd crack my egg and I'd have all these lumps in everything that I had. I couldn't figure out why. Well, I was putting an egg on top of hot butter and it was cooking it. And so therefore my whole thing didn't turn out, you know, wasn't turning out right. But I'm going to put this in a bowl from now on. I got online and saw where it's not really good to put an egg in your bowl, because if it's got shells and everything in it, then, you know, and if it's not good mixed, I like it to be mixed up with the yolk and everything. So let's see, I'm going to show you better. Yeah, the yolk and everything. So I've got it mixed up in here. Let me go get the butter. Now the butter isn't completely, as you can see, the butter is not completely melted, but it will be by the time we're done with this. So what I'm going to do is just give it a couple stirs too, because that helps too. But it wasn't all over my microwave, and I'm so thrilled. Okay, now what I'm going to do in my prep bowl here though is get ready, put the rest of the recipe in here, and then that way when I pour it in there, you know, the egg will, the butter will have, you know, cooled down some. So let me get, I need 3 tablespoons of almond flour. And here's my almond flour. I just put it, I buy it by the big bag, and I put it in here because I don't want to carry the big bag around all the time. And these are amazing. They're the all-in-one measuring spoons. This one's the tablespoon, and then there's one that's a teaspoon. This one starts at goes from a half a tablespoon. No, it goes from 1 teaspoon, 1 1/2 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons, 2 1/2 to 1 tablespoon. So I can use this for the whole thing. So I need 3 tablespoons of almond flour. So here we go. Just going to take it right out of here, and I'm going to put it in. Now this I'm going to put in with the butter because I want it to start cooling the butter some. So 1, 2, and they can be heaping. I mean, this, like I say, this recipe is so forgiving. And I've had people say that it doesn't work, that it sometimes doesn't work for them, but I have been so fortunate that it works for me every single time. So I'm going to put the lid back on this. Okay, so I've got that, an egg. I need a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, which is this stuff, which I'm sure you all have. If not, you can buy it cheap. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon, and all you do is slide this down to a 1/2 teaspoon, and you don't have to have a bunch of measuring spoons. Now we have some really, really good measuring sets. This I'm going to put in with the egg. So I'm just going to set that down, the egg. It calls for, it doesn't call for sugar, but I'm going to put a little bit of sugar in it just because I like a little bit of sugar in mine. So you can use whatever sweetener you like. I like erythritol. This monk fruit I have to order through the mail, so I'm looking for something better, you know, but I'm just going to put this in with the mixture, just a little. I'm just going to take a couple things and just set it in there, okay? Because I just like my bread a little sweet. And then sometimes I want it to be like an Italian sub, so then I put, you know, oregano and Italian stuff in there. Okay, so I've got it all in here. Now I'm going to pour it all into the bottom of this. Okay, I think I'm talking way too much because I don't think I'm going to make it in 5 minutes. I'm almost out of time. So I've been talking. So now I'm stirring it all up. And once I get it all stirred up, you want to make sure that everything is mixed well. Because however you put it in there, that's how it's going to finish. So if it's not mixed well, your bread is not going to be even, or it's not, which it's not perfect bread anyway, you know, but I like mine thin. I've always liked thin bread. So this makes it in a bigger container. It makes it thinner for me. And I really like it. The one thing it doesn't do is brown it, but I'm going to show you how to get past that. Okay, so this is what we ended up with. Let's see if I can get this. All right, so this is what we end up with, a mixture like this. It's about like this much. I don't really know if I can get you. Yes, I can. Okay, see, so it's about a 1/4 way full, as you can see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just take the fork out. Okay, I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to put it in here for 90 seconds. Okay, now while that's going, I'm going to start working on my omelet. Okay, I want to make a little omelet. You can put in there, in the bottom of that, you can do so much with it. In the bottom, you can put, you can make some, all kinds of omelets. Today, I'm going to use some cheese, some of our cheese. And we live close to Marathon in Boonville, Mississippi, so I get my cheese there. Yesterday, on Monday when I went, or Tuesday, I can't remember which, no, Tuesday, they had these bags for 80 cents each. And so I got some. They always have a special going on. But there's some butter in this. We just melted some butter in here. So I'm just going to put everything that I need for my omelet in here, okay? Because that way it'll give it some extra butter. So I'm going to crack the egg and make sure none of the, okay, there goes that. I have some extra kale because I made some kale chips. So I'm just going to make sure they're broke up real good and make, so that I can put them in my omelet. Okay. And with that, I'm going to use a little bit of salt, and it's the Himalayan salt that we're supposed to use. So I'm just going to take me a couple pinches to put on that. Okay. I'm going to add some hot sauce. Now I hear that our bread is done, but we need to let it set for 5 minutes. So we're just going to let it sit for a few minutes. But I've been known to be heavy-handed with this, so I use it when I'm making stuff for just me. But I'm going to put a little bit of hot sauce in it so I can get a little bit of a zing this morning to get me going. Okay, and now I'm just going to mix it all up and make sure that my egg is mixed up. Okay. And just put the greenery in there. Then I'll add the cheese on the very top. And it'll all come out in one thing. It is so nice to have. Okay. Put just a little bit of cheese. So you can see I just added a little bit of cheese. Don't look at my slippers. I wasn't going to show my feet, but I guess you saw it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is get this ready. Let me go get the bread out. And it's a little bit hot, so you may need to use a pot holder. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I take a knife. This is what it looks like. Okay. It's really hot, you can see. But boy, does it smell good in here. I'm going to take a knife and just go around the edges of it. Okay. Of course, I'm trying to show you. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, yeah. What I'm going to do is turn it upside down and put it on this plate. There it goes. See how easy that was? Because I butter it really good too. All right, now we've got this, and it's just had a little bit of butter in it and some bread, so I'm going to pour our ingredients to our omelet in here and let that start going. Okay, we're going to put one, it says to put one egg in. For the piece of paper that comes with it tells you exactly how long to do. 1 minute for the egg. So I'm going to put it back in the microwave for 30 seconds. I'm sorry, it's 2 eggs. It's 2 eggs for a minute and 30 seconds for one. Obviously, if you weren't talking like I'm doing, you would be able to get done quicker. But it doesn't take that long, as you can see. Now, once this bread starts to cool more, I'm going to cut it in half. And then I got my toaster out so I can toast it. Because one of the things it doesn't do, as you can see, is brown. So it looks, a little plain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as soon as this is done, now normally you would take that out and you would put your bread in here and you'd put your meat in here. But our bread's hot, so we're not going to put it in there, and we're not going to use this, okay? Now what I did the other night is I just bought a bunch of sausage and made a bunch of sausage patties and browned them all at once. Whenever I brown something, I brown a bunch so that I always have extra. So we're going to put that in. We're going to put one of those in here. You could put two in if you want to, but I'm just going to put one in there. I'm going to layer it on top, and then I'm going to put the top on. But the egg is not quite done because they know you have to put it in again with the meat. But you can do so much with this. So I put my sausage in there, in the silicone one, and put my lid back on and put it back for 30 seconds. And boy, was that good. I also made a mug cake in that, a chocolate one, and used it kind of like a double broiler. Put this in and put the loose chocolate, and boy, was that so good. And I'll do that one day for you. There is so much you can do with this. All right, but I'm going to put this back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my knife, and this is actually a bread knife. It's a Pampered Chef bread knife. I love the way they put their logo and stuff, you know. I'm going to put the bread like this, and I'm just going to eyeball cutting it in half. Okay. So it's not going to be perfectly cut in half. But as you can see, it's still hot too. But it's not perfect, but it's fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug up my toaster because I want it browned. Anybody, like if you do a grilled cheese, you want your bread browned. You know, you don't want it. Okay, so I have to wash the toaster because my husband likes burnt toast. And so I'll forget about it, and the next thing I know, I've got burnt toast. And I'm going to put a little bit of mayonnaise on it so that it'll give it a little bit of a kick too, and give it some liquid. And what I'm trying to accomplish here is just a little bit of browning, just to give it just a little bit of brown on it. I don't care about it toasting real good. Okay. My sausage is nice and warm. And now my egg is done. Okay, so I'm going to let it sit here and cool. Let me check this. And we'll see if it browns a little bit for you so that you can, you know, see how it's toasted. It's completely done. It doesn't need to be done anymore, the bread is. But I just sometimes like to add a little brown to it and toast it up a little bit. Okay, while we're waiting, I wanted to show you something I found yesterday. I was so excited because when I first started this, I thought, how am I going to get my chocolate in? I have to have chocolate. And I had never heard of Lily's. She was brand new to me. And so I started doing some research, and they said you need Lily's chocolate chips. And so I started ordering them. And I thought, I got to find a place local because I like to support local businesses. And so yesterday we had to make a hospital visit. I told you my husband's a preacher. We had to make a hospital visit in Nashville. So I said, please, please, can we go to Publix? So he let us go to Publix, and I got these 2 bags of them, and they go a long way. I mean, they're like $3.50 or $4. No, these were $3.50 a piece, 2 for $7. That's kind of high, but they last a long time. Now, when I can, I use the old-fashioned chocolate Hershey's. This powder is awesome, and you can use that. But there's times when I want the chocolate chip. Okay, so they're a little bit toasted. They didn't come out brown like I wanted them to. And it's real hot now because it's been in my toaster. Okay, so they're a little bit, you can't really, yeah, see, you can see a little bit of brown. They're toasted, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take, I use this Duke's. Now sometimes I take avocado and egg and make my own, but when I'm in a pinch, I buy the salt, the low salt Duke's, because they're the closest mayonnaise to probably homemade as far as I'm concerned. And what I'm going to do is I'm only going to butter one side of it, because we don't need it to be so, you know, to taste so strong. And I'm going to put my nice hot sausage. And this bowl is still hot. Now you can microwave this, but I don't. So therefore, you can do whatever you want. But what I'm doing is I'm edging it off around the edges so that I can get it out. And with it being a circle like bread, it fits right perfectly on the bread. Okay. Ooh, it's very, very hot. Okay. I'm going to take my knife, my Pampered Chef knife. I'm going to cut it in half. And doesn't that look so yummy? And it is so good and filling. It fills you up. I'm going to let it sit for a second while I try to clean up some of this mess, because I want to take a bite in front of you. But here's what it looks like. It is so flavorful. And you can make it however, this is not the, you know, you can put whatever you want in your omelet. But this is what I wanted on there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bite of it. If I can get it picked up. Because one, I didn't get it right in the middle, and so therefore one section of it, part of the bread is really, one half of it is really thin. But this is what it looks like. And it is so, just one second. I wish you were here so that you could taste this with me. It is so flavorful and so good. This right here, this sandwich maker is a must-have. It is amazing. I'm going to take some time out and enjoy my breakfast. I'll be back with some more recipes. Thank you and have a great day.